Hello there. Today's scripture is taken from 2 Corinthians. See if I can read it. All praise be to the God and Father of our Master Jesus, the Messiah, Father of all mercy, God of all healing counsel. He comes alongside us when we go through hard times. And before you know it, he brings us along someone else who is going through hard times, so that we can be there for that person, just as God was there for us. We have plenty of hard times that come from following the Messiah, but no more so than the good times of his healing comfort. We get a full measure of that too. When we suffer for Jesus, it works out for your healing and salvation. If we are treated well, given a helping hand, an encouraging word, that also works for your benefit, spurring you on to face forward, unflinching. Your hard times are also our hard times. When we see that you are just as willing to endure the hard times as enjoy the good times, we know you're going to make it. No doubt about it. So sometimes when we're going through hard times, we kind of feel sorry for ourselves, and then we're looking for somebody who is going to take us out of those hard times and give us better times. When we're going through hard times, we automatically assume that God would put somebody in our space or direct somebody to us who's better off than us, who's going to be able to help us, who's going to be able to look after us, who's going to be able to maybe give us money or do things for us. So when we are faced with somebody who's no better off than us, it makes us question. A lot of people, they don't give that person a chance. A lot of people will look on that person who's coming to them for help as a burden, because they're already suffering hard times, and everybody suffers hard times in different ways. Not all hard times are financial. Sometimes it's loss of a loved one. Sometimes it's loss in different ways. Sometimes you're just depressed. Sometimes things are just not going well for you. And so somebody comes along who's no better off than you, or maybe worse than you, and you look at them and you have no empathy. You don't think to yourself, well, I'm going through hard times. Let me see if I can help this person. No, we don't think like that. God is telling us to think like that. God is putting people in our space who are worse off than us as an indication that we are actually blessed. That person is worse off than us. So we are blessed. And then we can see how we can help someone. By helping someone, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel better about yourself. And that's what that's what I believe this scripture is about. It's about when people come into your space. I'm not talking about wasters or people who are trying to get one over on you, people who are trying to take advantage of you, because that's what a lot of people think. I have a colleague at work, and she is living with someone, and she said he can't work because he's got an illness. Now, when he was working, I think he was giving her something ridiculous like £400 a week, because he was a construction worker and he used to make a lot of money. And she had a good job, a good income. So when he went sick, she said to me that, if he doesn't get better quick and start making some money, because he gets paid a high salary because he doesn't get paid for sickness or holidays. So when you get that money, it's supposed to compensate. But she said to me, if he doesn't get a job quick, he's going to have to leave. And I said to her, why does he have to leave? She said, because he's not giving me any money and I don't want him taking the P. He's taking advantage. So I said to her, do you need the money? And she said, that's not the point. So my point is that sometimes we have in our head the purpose of why people come into our lives. A lot of times it is necessary to have financial support. It is necessary for you to have somebody who can help you with your children, who can help you with your business, who can help you do stuff. But sometimes, if you are capable of doing that by yourself, should you berate that person who cannot or who doesn't have the ability? I think it's different if somebody has the ability and the health to help you in certain ways, if they can't help you financially, that they do that. I think it's important that if somebody, like say my friend, or my colleague I should say, if he can help her in the house and do, stuff when she's out at work, then that should compensate. Then she would know he's not taking the P. But she doesn't look at it like that. She just sees financial. He needs to give her money. That will show her that he is not taking advantage of her. And that's how some people think. I've written down some notes here. Excuse the background. I just thought I would do it while I have the inspiration, so I didn't go downstairs. So I've just written here, Jesus the Messiah. I'm reading back from the Bible. God of all healing counsel. He comes alongside us when we go through hard times, and before we know it, he brings us alongside someone else who is going through hard times, so that we can be there for them. That person, just as God was there for us. And God is there for us because he's blessing us. I know that sometimes we don't get what we want, and that is the difference. God gives us what we need, not what we want. And a lot of people want what they want, not what they need. They're not grateful for their needs being satisfied. They want their wants satisfied as well. And that is not what God is about. So who is more privileged? Us, who is going through hard times with a God we cannot see, feel, touch or hear. These are my words. But trust infinitely in his love and mercy. Or the person who has been brought to us, who can help us through hard times in the physical. And what I meant by that is that, what the Bible is saying is that God is looking after us, but we can't see him, we can't feel him, we just have to believe he's looking after us. Yet he'll send somebody in the physical for us to look after. And it's almost like, oh yeah, that person can benefit because he has somebody or she has somebody in the physical, but we have somebody in the spiritual, and sometimes it's more difficult. What that means, it means you need more communication with God. You need to speak to him more often. You need to make sure you pray more often, because you're dealing with somebody in the spiritual. You're not dealing with somebody in the physical. So it's much harder to know that your needs are being met. You can only have faith and to believe that they are. So sometimes the help we need is not in the form that the person we are helping needs, although we might think it is. We may think we need money for rent, help with the bills, when really what is more beneficial is emotional or physical support. Someone who can do things that we find difficult to do. Has God given you more than enough? In my case, he has. And in the present time, I'm not in a financial crisis, so I need support in what I do and what I love. Even if that support means leaving me alone to meditate and be at peace with myself. You see, sometimes it is about compatibility. Sometimes people think that you need some physical presence, but sometimes you just need to know that you have somebody who understands you and who allows you to be who you are. So a lot of relationships break down because of money. But if God has blessed you with more than enough and he has brought someone in your life whose life is difficult, should you berate them for not bringing to the table what you don't need? What does that person have that can help you? That's what I put there. Some men do that and also provide. Yeah, what I'm saying is that there are some relationships where the man is working and he's still helping out in the house and he's still doing everything to support his spouse. But we're talking about people who have come to you to show you something, to teach you empathy And I believe that that's what this scripture is about. It's about having empathy